never seen so many people in one place before. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, boy, it sure is packed tonight. Wow. I think I'm probably the only person in Bethlehem that's happy about the fact that Bethlehem's packed tonight and that we're all coming here to pay taxes. Thank you, Caesar Augustus. Wow. It's going to be cold tonight. That means everybody's going to want a room. That means more money for me. Yes. I can see it now. That seaside villa by the beach, the sun, maybe a few slaves taking care of everything for me so I don't have to wait on people anymore. I can see it now. Oh, you see, I won't have to deal with that anymore either. Stay. I've lived in Bethlehem all my life. I can't wait to get out of here. This little old town is going to be the end of me. I know they say that Bethlehem is the place where everything's going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet, and I don't think it's going to happen, to tell you the truth. All I want to do is get out. Sure wish that phone would ring. Maybe a customer wanting to call and book a room or something. That sure would be nice. It is one of those old phones. It's a rotary dial. Well, this is, after all, Bethlehem. And it's a long time ago. It's even got a cord on it. Can't go anywhere with it, of course. You kids have probably never seen one of those, have you? Okay. Yeah, ring the phone. Good evening. This is Bethlehem's oldest and best B&B, Dave's Bethlehem B&B. What can I do for you? That's right. We're located downtown Bethlehem. That's not saying much. What is that? Next week? Okay, let me check my schedule. You want the Giant Slayer suite? I think we can arrange that. Yes. Yes, in fact, we can. I'm the local historian, so we can arrange a guided tour of King David's hometown. That'll take all of 5 minutes. It'll take us a couple hours, but I think we can arrange it. Only 200 denarii, and we'll arrange that tour. What? Well, yes, you did hear correctly. We do have Goliath's sword. Oh, no, I wouldn't be willing to sell that. That's a family heirloom. That's been in the family for 10 generations. 500? You'd be willing to pay 500? Well, you know what? We can talk about that when you get here, okay? All right, well, see you next week. All right, bye-bye. That's great. Wow. Sure would be hard to part with that sword. Here's some guests coming in. Shalom, shalom. Welcome. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I know what it is to lose a loved one. Oh, it's your father? I'm so sorry. Well, come in. You've come to the right place. Let me see if I have a room for you. Yeah, I do. I have a room for you. In fact, I have a room. It's Rachel's room. That's right, Rachel's room. And it's only 200 denarii a night. Yeah. Who's Rachel? You don't know who Rachel was? Well, Rachel was the wife of Jacob. She was the wife of Jacob that Laban tricked our father Jacob into marrying, working 14 years to marry Rachel. Boy, she must have been worth it too, because they were happy together. Laban did that old bait and switch, and Jacob thought he was working 7 years to get Rachel, and he ended up getting his sister Leah, and then he did that switch, and then he had to work another 7 years to get Rachel. She only had 2 sons, though. She had Joseph, and then she had Benoni. What? You've never heard of Benoni? That's right. She had Benoni, and right here in Bethlehem. That's right here in Bethlehem. She had Benjamin, and then unfortunately she died in childbirth, and it was right here on the outskirts of Bethlehem. Now, as she was dying and in her weeping, she named him Benoni, which means son of my trouble. And then Jacob, after she passed away, Jacob buried her and erected a big stone, put it right on top of her grave. And did you see it? It's right out on the outskirts of Bethlehem. Rachel's stone. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know why Jeremiah said that, but that bothers me too. Why Rachel would still be weeping for her children and refusing to be comforted. That kind of bothers me as well. I hope I don't ever have to find out why Jeremiah wrote that. But anyway, Jacob didn't leave his son's name Benoni, son of my trouble. He changed it. You know what he changed it to? He changed the name to Benjamin. And you know what Benjamin means? It means son of my right hand. And so that's exactly what Benjamin became. He became Jacob's favorite son of his right hand. And that's right. That's exactly what David said. David said, the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. Yeah, those were the good old days of King David. I don't think King David was talking about old Ben when he wrote about the son of my right hand. You know, some people think that he was talking about a Messiah to come. I don't know much about that, but I think that's exactly what he was talking about. Well, ladies, please, go up to your room. It's the first door up on your left, and I hope you have a great night. Sleep well. Peace to you. Shalom. Peace. Wow. It's hard losing a loved one. Grief. Jacob knew grief, but yet he didn't want to live in it. It sure would be nice if that son of my right hand could do something about grief. That's one of the reasons why I want to get out of Bethlehem. There's just too many sad memories here for me. It sure would be nice if somebody could take that grief away. Oh, here's another couple. Come on in. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. You've come to the right place. This is King Dave's B&B. Come on in. Well, obviously, you've had a joyous day. Wow, you just got married today. Well, that's wonderful. I remember when I got married, and my wife was just so beautiful. She passed away some years ago. But I still remember that day like it was yesterday. You're in luck because the honeymoon suite is available. And guess what? It's only 200 denarii tonight. That's right. It's a census special that we're offering tonight. What room? Oh, okay. It's Rachel. Excuse me. It's not Rachel. It's Ruth and Boaz's honeymoon suite. Ruth and Boaz. Well, you've never heard of Ruth and Boaz? Are you kidding me? That's a wonderful love story. Ruth was a Moabite. Yeah, that's right. She was a Moabite. And she was living with her mother-in-law, Naomi, and her husband and brother-in-law and father-in-law. They were living in Moab. And then all of a sudden, the book of Ruth tells us that Naomi's husband died and their 2 sons died. And so Ruth and Naomi were widows. They decided to leave Moab and come back to guess where? Bethlehem. That's right, good old Bethlehem. And so they came back and Ruth said to Naomi, where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay, and your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. And it was such a wonderful thing for Ruth to do. And then they got back, and of course, they were still so poor. And so Ruth went out into the fields and right in the outskirts of Bethlehem, and she began to pick up the stalks of grain that had fallen by the wayside from the harvesters. And she began to collect these and put them in a bag and picking them up. And guess what happened? She did more than pick up some stalks of grain. She picked up a guy. That's right. And his name was Boaz. I know, you're saying, so what? What do you mean, so what? You don't get it, do you? Well, Boaz was a kinsman redeemer. But you never heard of a kinsman redeemer? Well, a kinsman redeemer was someone who was a near relative, who was told by God that if your brother dies and leaves your wife widowless, then you're supposed to marry that widow and have children for your departed brother. And so Boaz was faithful. He took off his sandal at the gate for everyone to see, and he took Ruth, the Moabite, to be his wife. I know, you guys just want to get to your room, don't you? Don't you want to hear the rest of the story? Okay, just take a second. Well, so Ruth and Boaz married, and they had a son, and his name was Obed. Later, Obed had a son, and his son was named Jesse. And then Jesse, he was pretty fruitful. He and his wife, they actually had 8 sons. I know, big deal, right? 8 sons, okay. He had 8 sons, and guess who number 8 was? That's right, David. David, our King David, King David's B&B. Yes, that's right. And so Ruth and Boaz, from Ruth and Boaz came David. And that's why you're here in Bethlehem tonight, aren't you? So maybe one day you too will have a son, the one the promised prophets Isaiah and Micah foretold, the one who will be the son of David, the Redeemer of Israel, from right here in little Bethlehem. Wouldn't that be something? Well, I wish you good luck. Well, good night. Sleep well. They'll have a good night. Good night. Good night. Peace to you. Honestly, I don't really know if I believe all of that. Yeah, I know I'm descended from David. In fact, generations, it's like second cousin once removed on my mother's side, but we're related. Everybody in Bethlehem is related. It's not that I don't believe that David lived. It's just that it's been 400 years since any prophet talked anything about a son of David who would rise up and inherit the throne of his father David. And it's been a long time. There's been no word. Day after day, I sweep my floors. Day after day, I welcome a guest here and there. Day after day, I go about the bustle in Bethlehem, and Nothing changes. Honestly, this census and this tax is about the most exciting thing to happen to Bethlehem since Samuel came and anointed David to be king. It's been a long time. Honestly, I don't know if there really is going to be a Messiah. It'd be nice if that couple would have a son. Maybe it would be him. How many times have I said that to a couple? Not really sure if I believe it. Attention! Thank you. Attention! Hail Caesar! Well, good evening. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Any servant of Rome is a friend of mine, so welcome, welcome. Can I ask why you're here? Oh, you want a room? Well, I only have one room left, and it's fortunate for you. It's the warrior room. Would you like the warrior room? Yeah, the warrior room. You're laughing. Don't be laughing. That's pretty fun. You know, that's an exciting room. I hope you like it tonight. I suppose you're here for the census, collecting the taxes. Well, Rome must do what Rome must do. So, welcome. I'm glad to have you tonight. You've heard of the warrior room, haven't you? Well, yeah, it's David's room. It's the room that David himself stayed in. Who's David? Are you kidding me? You've never heard of David? Well, you are from Rome after all. Well, David was just a boy when he went up against a giant. His name was Goliath. Oh, you heard something about that. Oh, well, yeah, he went up against a giant, Goliath, when he was just a boy. What he didn't use a sword or a spear, actually. Well, eventually he used a sword, but no, he used a sling and a stone. No, I'm not making this up. This is true. King David, well, no, he wasn't king yet, you have to understand. He'd been anointed, but he wasn't the king yet. He was anointed the king, and so then he went off to see how the battle was going. He was just a shepherd boy. And so he went to the war, but there wasn't any war going on. Goliath, he was getting up there and he was bad-mouthing the army of God and God himself. And David had enough of it, and he said to Saul the king, he said, "Send me out there. I'll take on this Goliath." What? No, he didn't have any armor. He was too small for armor. And so he just went out and he fought Goliath. Yeah, no armor. Just a sling and some stones, and he hit that giant right between the eyes and knocked him down. Then he picked up Goliath's sword and he lopped off his head. Yeah, it was great story. You know, amazing his faith at such a young age. Yeah, don't you wish we all had the courage and the faith of Goliath? You know, I've always considered myself a warrior. Well, don't laugh. You know, we all battle, you know, we all have our giants to slay. Right. I mean, I know you have your battles to wage, but I have my battles too. Well, what's my battle? Despair, maybe. Yeah. I have to be honest that I've oftentimes given up hope. Hope in what? Oh, we Jews believe that there's a Messiah that's going to come. But he hasn't come yet. No, he's not coming tonight. No, you won't find David in your taxation list, all right? He lived like 10 generations ago, okay? So he's not in there. But you know what? I do have David's room for you tonight, and it's a census special. You're in luck. Only 200 denarii a night. Oh, you'll make it up in the taxes. You can just pay me later, okay? All right. Hey, say, would you like to see the sword that David used to kill Goliath? I have it. Let me see here. Here it is. You know, did I say sword? Actually, I meant swords. I actually have 2 of them. There we go. Would you like... Swords, yeah. He used 2 swords to lop off his head. Yeah. No, they're not for sale. I might be able to let these go for $250 each. Would you like them? Hey, it's a great deal. I could let them go for maybe $200 each, and I'll get that seaside. Never mind. I'll get that seaside villa maybe sometime soon. That's right. We Jews are waiting for another king, a Messiah. That's right. No, not Herod, surely not Herod. This Messiah, we've been told by the prophets, will establish a new kingdom. A new kingdom. Not tonight. No, of course, not tonight. Here, you guys go on to bed. I know you have a busy day tomorrow, so peace to you as you sleep. I get to do the most favorite thing of all now. Now it's my turn to get to go to bed. My favorite thing to do. Boy, it's been a long night. I get to go to bed finally for my nice, warm bed. Sure is getting cold out there. It's a good time to go to bed. Just lock this door over here and say goodnight. Turn off the lights and go to sleep. Unless the doorbell rings again. Then I won't go to sleep. But even if it doesn't ring, who could this be? It's late. But no, sorry, buddy. Can you not read the sign? No vacancy. There's no room. We're all full. Really, absolutely. Even if I had to, they don't have any more rooms. Yeah, I can see that your wife is pregnant, but I'm sorry, we don't have any rooms. There's not anything I can do. No, there's not another B&B in Bethlehem. But listen, we're full. No vacancy. I'm sorry. Good night. Shalom. The guy offered me $20 for a room. Are you kidding? I wouldn't give my mother a room for $20. Even if he said his name was the Son of David, I wouldn't give him a room for $20. Emmanuel, even if it was Emmanuel, I wouldn't give him a room for $20. Emmanuel. God with us. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and we'll call him Emmanuel. But you, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from old, from ancient times. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the deep darkness, a light has dawned. For to us a child is born. To us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace there will be no end. He will reign on David's throne and over His kingdom, establishing and upholding it with justice. The zeal of the Lord Almighty will accomplish this. Hey buddy, wait. Come back. I have a room. It's not much. It's not much. It's actually a cave behind the inn, just a stable, but it's dry and it's out of the wind. It's safe. No, put your money away. Put your money away. Just come with me. There's room for you tonight.
So, in the bustle of Christmas, do you have any room for Jesus in your life? Maybe He's standing at the door and knocking at your heart's door now, and you know how that door is. The latch is on the inside. He can't access your heart unless you unlatch it. We're going to stand. We're going to sing Him a decision. If you'd like to open that door and let Jesus into your heart, into your life, you can do that, expressing your faith. Turn your back on sin, making Christ Lord of your life, being baptized. That's how you really prepare for Christmas and eternity.